Welcome to tonight's Leicester Fan TV show. My name's Phil. We're live every Monday, 7:30 to 8. We want your views. We want your comments as ever. So please do get your comments in live for the next 30 minutes. Of course, we've just beaten Plymouth 4-0. Comfy. Pretty comfy. What a blistering 6 or 7 minutes that was in the second half. Get your views in. Get your comments in. We want to know which goal was the best. We're going to look back a little bit at that Plymouth game. We want to know who was your man of the match. I want to talk about Millwall coming up next. Obviously, on Wednesday, there's not much rest for us. It's straight back in Millwall on Wednesday. Who would you start up front? Would it be Daka? Would it be Jamie Vardy? Would it be Nacho? I think that's going to be one of the big talking points tonight. And, of course, we'll have score predictions for the game. If you want to come on the show live tonight, I'm going to put a link right now in the comments. Click, get your comments in. Come on camera, whatever you want to do in tonight's Fanzone show for the next 28 minutes.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Barlow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, and the Fox's Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, good evening. Welcome to the show. My name's Phil. If you're watching this live, you can get your comments in on screen, or you can click on that link I've just put in the comments, and you can come on screen and tell us what you think. It is open to anybody. Leicester Fan TV is open to all of you to come and have your view. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV, of course, on all channels. Good evening, Auntie Karen. Hope you're well. Brilliant results, she says in there. Of course, we get all the comments on screen, so get your views in. Liam says, what a win that was. Liam, it was a blistering 7 or 8 minutes, wasn't it? 7 minutes, I think, between that second, third, and fourth goals. Very, very good. Get your views in. Which was the best goal, Liam? Let me know in the comments. Rudy, watching, where are you, Rudy? Good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Looking after us there. Nice photo. Bubba says, good evening. Hope you're well out there, Bubba, out there in America. Did you say, yes, I did have a Pittsburgh Steelers cap on at the weekend. Thanks to Don Cole, who sometimes appears on Leicester Fan TV, who very kindly gave me that last time he came over, all the way over from Myrtle Bay to watch Leicester City. We have fans come far and wide now to watch Leicester. Gav, good evening. Hope you're well. Dawn as well. And Nick, Richie, good evening. Good win for Leicester City on Saturday. Still top of the league. We are, Richie, aren't we? Which is great. But what on earth is going on with Ipswich? Sticking to our coattails. Nobody thought they would be in there. Oswald is watching all the way from Zambia. Good evening, Oswald. Hope you're well. Enzo said Vardy and Nacho are not available for Wednesday. Thanks, Andrew. That's cut that debate dead then. If they're both still out, well, it'd be Daka then, wouldn't it? I suppose we could debate, Andy. Would it be Daka? Would it be Canon? Would he switch it around? What did you think of Canon when he came on? Got a bit of a 25, 30-minute run out. Didn't really spot much from him in there. And again, what did you think to Daka? Let me know your views in there. Don't forget, I put in the comments bit in here that you can join the show. You just have to click on that link, okay? So if you want to come on the show and get your views in, get clicking on that link and we'll see who clicks on it. Keeper saved us in that first half. Could have gone 2-1 down, says Tez. Tez, I've got to be honest with you. I thought the first half, I thought we were lucky to go in 1-0 at half time. I thought it was quite an even first half. We had a couple of chances. That one where a lovely through ball, and then I think it was Fatawa, I think, right in front of goal, past it. Bad pass for Ndidi. Well, bad pass, maybe that's a bit unfair. And Ndidi couldn't get on the end of it. Should have made it 2-0 and should have been cruising there. But we did sort of give them a chance in that first half, didn't we, in there? Craig says here, great win at the weekend. Do you think there will be many changes on Wednesday. Fatua was magic on Saturday. Do you agree with Craig there? Who was your man of the match, Craig? And who was everybody else's man of the match? We had a bit of a debate after it. Personally, I thought Hamza had a great game, and I thought he did well in there. Daka, let's give Daka a little nod. I thought at times he got involved. Liam says here, great to see Daka playing again and getting on the score sheet. Took it well, didn't he, Liam? Did it well. Just hope he can build his confidence up and push on. Liam, would you start Daka on Wednesday, or is it a chance to give Tom Canon a go out there? Listen, the Millwall last few games that they've had, they lost last weekend against Cardiff 1-0. They drew with Sunderland when they were at home. They lost 3-1 away at Ipswich, if that's anything to judge them by. But listen, this is a bit of a crazy season because they lost 3-0 at home against Coventry, but then they beat Sheffield Wednesday. Do you remember we went to Sheffield Wednesday just about 10 days ago? We couldn't get a win there. Well, Millwall went there and they won 4-0. Bit of a crazy season this, so we'll see how it all goes. Ian, the Super Fox, says, good win on Saturday. Thanks, Ian. We need to keep this run going till the new year to maintain our lead at the top of the table and build an even bigger lead to make sure we return to the Premier League in there. I agree with you, Ian. It is very, very close at the top. Obviously, we're on 49 points, Ipswich on 48. As I say, I am really gobsmacked by how Ipswich are keeping that pressure up. In most seasons, everybody would be talking about Ipswich being just amazing, but we're just pinching that by 1 point at the moment. You got Leeds on 41, you got Southampton on 38. Now, listen, I think that's the top four in some shape or form this season. Do you agree with me on that, or do you think somebody could make a dash into it? Adam says, good win, but a bigger test on Wednesday. Well, Adam, I'm not so sure about that. Obviously, Millwall are in 19th, Plymouth now in 18th. So you could argue the Plymouth was the easier game. I thought Plymouth did well. I thought they created chances. In fact, they had 13 shots and we had 13 shots. So it was very close in there. Please do get your comments back in there. Gav says he's finally back in Leicester. Welcome back to the Shire. Joe says, I'd start Daka. Thought he played really, really well. Scott says, I'm glad Daka got his run. And it went well. Do you know what? You all know I'm not Daka's biggest fan, but I was pleased to see him start the game because what's the point in having a £20 million striker if the strikers for Leicester, Vardy, Nacho, they're not exactly firing on all cylinders, both will, but it's nice to see him getting a chance in there. Now, Nick has clicked on that link. Remember, I'm going to share the link again in the comments. Put it in there. It's just gone in there right now. So if you're watching this live and not watching it on playback, there is the link. Click on that link and you can come and have your say. Here comes Nick Moore. Good evening, Nick. How are you?
Evening, Phil. Evening, everybody.
Great. Thanks for clicking on that link, Nick, and coming in. Obviously, I've got no idea what you're about to say. That's the whole point of Leicester Fan TV. What is it? What's your views on last weekend's game and building up to the Millwall game, Nick?
I think good win on the whole against Plymouth. I think they've done realistically well, considering the vast majority of the people were saying they were going to go straight back down this season. So I think, to get 4 goals against them's pretty decent. Daka, scoring's a positive, even though, like you, I'm not convinced on Daka. Is he playing at his level? A bit like how we've said Vestergaard's been amazing this season, but we all think he's playing at his level, isn't he? So I'd personally give, if Nacho and Vardy are definitely out, I'd give Canon a start.
Would you?
Yeah,
because
25 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
mean, Mark says here, go with the same team as Saturday. Why change a winning team in there? Phil Howard, good evening, Phil, says Mavadidi, Daka, Kieran Dewsbury, Ndidi all taken off. So I expect them all to start on Wednesday. Nick, there were some good performances on Saturday. I don't like to get too carried away with performances, but who was your man of the match? Because we talked
Hamza.
about... Yeah, I thought Hamza. A lot of people went for Ndidi. Some people went for Fatua. Some people went for Mavadidi. You agreed Hamza had a great game.
I think under the circumstances, Hamza is never going to be first choice in his position. And the fact that he's come in, not only that, he's captained the squad, and he just goes where he's told and he does a job. And fair play to him. Do you know what? And I thought he did really, really well. If not Hamza, Ndidi close second. I thought Ndidi had a good game as well on Saturday.
Ndidi took that goal well, Nick, didn't he?
He did. He did take it well. I mean, let's be fair. This time last season, would you think Ndidi would be playing more as that attacking role or would you have him as the defence? Let's be fair, 9 times out of 10, and did he goes to shoot, it ends up over the crossbar. He should have been playing for the Tigers, for example, last season, because he's good at getting height on it, but he's done really, really well this season.
But I think Ben's being a little bit unfair there to Daka, because Ben says, come on, Daka's goal was a tap-in. You'd expect an under-8s player to put that away. I thought Daka took it calmly and coolly. I thought that's what we'd like to expect from a £20 million striker, but I thought he took it well. I
can kind of agree where he's coming from, but let's be fair, it was harder to miss than it was not to score that goal.
Yeah, like the one in the first half, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair. Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. Slimani, for example, cost us 30 million. Was he worth 30 million? So, you know, I'm not Daka's biggest fan. So, but we've got to use him because our best 2 strikers are out. So, yeah,
Nick, I'm with you on that. I'm not his biggest fan, but crikey, he should be able to do well in this championship, shouldn't he? Again, I mean, no disrespect to Plymouth, but again, I say it week in, week out. We're not playing Man City, Liverpool, FC Bruges, Copenhagen. We're not playing those sorts of levels of teams. This was Plymouth, who I thought battled well, Nick, but Daka should be able to find the net against teams like that.
But this is partly why everybody, who's yourself included, is worried a little bit about Ipswich, and it's no disrespect, but it is driving me Potter. I honestly don't think Ipswich are going to be there come the end of the season. They just solely do not have the depth in their squad. All it's going to take is a couple of injuries to their key men like Chaplin, for example, who seem to rely on for goals a hell of a lot. He gets injured, that's it. Whereas, let's be fair, we've shared the goals around all season in our squad, and vast majority of them are Premier League proven players. So,
the thing that puts me off that, Nick, is I think beware of saying things like you've just said about Ipswich, because we all remember we won the Premier League and everybody was saying that all season is Leicester will drop off. They won't do it. I actually think Ipswich look really, really, really solid. I've watched them play. I think they play an exciting style of attacking football, Nick.
But I think that second place, if we don't, obviously fingers crossed that we don't balls this up because we're in a good position. I think it'll be Leeds that goes for second. If Ipswich going to go up, it will go via the playoffs. But you know as well as anybody, Phil, the playoffs are a lottery. It's all down to the day.
We don't want to get into the lotteries. Although, Nick, it's starting to feel to me like there is a top 4 now with Leeds and Southampton being part of that. I think that will be the 4 who contest the top 2.
100%.
Good evening to Jamie from the Foxes Arms, who's actually in Leicester, and you can come and meet Jamie down at the pub before and after the game on Wednesday because he's going to watch Millwall. Jamie says, great win at the weekend. Let's hope for the same again on Wednesday. Nick, before I let you go, you talked about you'd like to see Canon start. So you would actually, is that because it's Millwall and you think that, you know, there's potentially a chance there for him, or why did you go for that switch from Daka?
Well, for me, Canon is solely for, obviously we bought him in the summer. Yes, he's had the injury, but his stats last season when he was on the Preston, he did rather well. And also what you've got to remember is we've got the African Cup of Nations coming up soon. Canon's going to need some minutes in his legs because, you know, Nacho's going to it and so is Daka. So he's going to need some minutes in his legs if he's to come in to help Varda.
Yeah,
because I don't see he's buying another striker in January. He's got to get the minutes in sooner or later. So yes, he's got 25 minutes in now, but he needs more just to get his fitness up.
Yeah, Adam says here, Canon only just back from injury, so no way he's starting on Wednesday. So people sort of agree and disagree with Nick. That's what Leicester Fan TV is all about. Nick, I'm going to let you go because I've got Jonno's clicked in. So thanks a lot for all your views tonight. Quick score prediction before I let you go, Nick, for Wednesday.
2-0, Leicester. KDH for both.
Fantastic. Let's see if that comes true. Thanks, Nick. As ever, Nick, more clicking in. Thanks for your views. See you soon.
Later. Bye.
Cheers to Nick there. Don't forget, you can click on that link. I've put it in there. Jonno's clicked on it. He's going to be coming on very, very shortly. Bob says here, Ipswich score goals for fun. They have got a lot this season. Gav says, surely we have to give Canon a blast. Gav is going for the jokes already. Adam says Canon on after 65 minutes. Jamie's reminding us we're 17 points clear of 5th place. That's why I say I think there is a top 4 now. Bubba out in the States says I'd rather start Daka. Let's work Canon in as a sub or 2. I wasn't sure that Canon really had much of an impact on Saturday. I didn't really get that much involved. Did you see something different to me? It was a good time for him to come on at 4-0, although I think at 4-0, Plymouth seemed to take their foot off the gas and Leicester did it. It felt like both teams went, that's it. 4-0, let's get on with it. Richie says Leicester City will sign another striker in January. Interesting there. Leeds away at Sunderland on Tuesday is going to be an important one. Again, Jonno's clicked on that link. I'm going to add Jonno Towers in. Jonno, good evening. How are you?
Hi, Phil. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for clicking on that link and coming on and giving us your views. Jonno, what's your first thing you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, there's a lot of chat about Daka, and he hasn't been the fans' favourite for a long time, but I thought he did brilliantly. Well, say brilliantly. I think he did really well in the game on Saturday, and I think he deserves a bit of a run. I think it's fair to say that a lot of fans think Nacho and Vardy have not really been doing the business this season. I feel like Daka's been left out in the cold a little bit, and it was a surprise to see him in the team on Saturday. So initially I was like, what's that all about? But actually he performed really well, and I think having his pace up front kind of enabled us to sort of go a little bit more direct and a bit longer on occasions, which I think suited us a little bit more, like mixing up the play a bit more, certainly in the second half anyway. And I feel like he's probably got something to offer at this level for us. Daka, I think he's still a decent player. I know that you've not always been his greatest fan, but I think at this level he could really do the business for us. So I feel like he could be a bit of a surprise for us. I thought he was left out in the cold for a while, and he probably would make a move in January. But I'm hoping that he sticks around and gets another start on Millwall.
Jonno, my thing with Daka is we bought him to help us compete in the Premier League and on a European Cup front at the same time. Yeah. That's what Daka was clearly brought in for. Maybe not meant to be the star man every week in, but he was brought in, and we all remember he scored 4 away in that famous European game. So he clearly is of decent enough quality if we can get the ball to him in the right places in there. And he should fill his boots in the Championship, because this is not the Europa League. This is not the Premier League, so he should do well in it. Ziv says here, nobody mentions Mads Hermansen. What a change from last season in there. I just wanted to talk about that. I think it was the second goal for Leicester on Saturday, where Hermansen played the ball. We were doing the thing that does infuriate me at times, is that he passes it forward, somebody passes it back, and he pinged it backwards and forwards 15 yards 3 or 4 times, and then he did launch it forward. And as Andrew Medhurst says here, did we play a form of plan B on Saturday? When we scored, I think it was the second goal, we did that backwards and forwards, Jonno, and then it went long. A lot of them came back to congratulate Hermansen as though it was something they'd been working on. And did we play a form of plan B on Saturday? At times,
are we allowed to say that word? Plan B?
Well, not plan B, but it was a little bit more progressive and direct at times.
I think so, and I'd be amazed if Enzo hasn't been working on something. I think he's too good a manager not to see that whatever the plan A was at times wasn't working. It was too static. It was too passive, and we've got the likes of Daka and Vardy to an extent with some pace, and the wingers as well. So why not try and utilise that? A lot of the good play that and a lot of the goals we've scored this season have been on the break, or have been, using the speed on the attack when the other team have moved forward. So on the transition, we've scored a lot of good goals, I think. And so it's a thing that I don't think we've used enough this season. And I wonder whether that's the reason why Daka got the nod, because he's got that pace that you can put the ball over the top. And I'm wondering whether that is something that they've been working on. I wouldn't be surprised. It is, in a way, a form of plan B, isn't it? I mean, it's like you can't keep tapping it about all the time and expect to score a beautiful goal every time and walk it into the net. It's just not going to happen. You've got to play to the player's strengths. And I think that that's possibly something he has been working on. I hope it is anyway, yeah.
Well, Scott says here, the long ball has never been a plan B. It's part of that plan A. We just haven't used it in the right times
Yeah, maybe.
or often enough. Again, we all watch it and think, yeah, you've got Vardy there. You have got Daka. If you want to put that fast ball over the top, it comes through. He says here, we have gone direct previously. It just wasn't done at the right times or well, which is sort of what you were saying, Jonno.
Possibly, yeah. And I also think he was probably doing it with Nacho and Vardy in the team. And as much as we've seen over the years Vardy do that, I don't think he's quite got that pace about him anymore.
Yeah.
In the same way. I don't know where you've gone, Phil. Disappeared.
I'm just there, mate. I'm making you full screen.
Wow.
Jonno, the fans are the stars. That's what we want to get on, as much of you. So I've made you full screen. But listen, hey, if you want to just see me, we can do that as well, mate. So listen, let's get a few more comments in.
I was just talking to myself. But no, I think that I just think that, you know, we've seen a few times where there has been a couple of times where Vardy has been given a through ball or whatever, and he's been, I can't remember who it was against. Maybe it was Watford or one of the recent games where the centre back just muscled him out of it and outpaced him. I was like, Vardy of old wouldn't have done that. So I think that Daka, playing that way with Daka, where he has got the speed, probably is something he's probably looked at. I don't know.
Yeah. Wayne says here, when we move the ball quicker, definitely a bigger problem for opposing defences, and they couldn't cope. I want to add into that for really what Wayne's saying is, again, I think what I am enjoying seeing particularly as well at the moment, John, I don't know if you've enjoyed it or spotted it, is Fatawa and Mavididi that and Ndidi. There has been on Saturday, there was 2 or 3 for really, really nice sort of 40-yard passes that really cut through the defence. And created all sorts of chaos. I think it was Fatawa put Mavididi through. Mavididi finished it very, very nicely. But to be fair, I thought the ball from Fatawa was the thing that made that goal, although Fatawa still had a lot to do. Yeah,
I agree with you. Fatawa likes that, like that ball, that cross-field ball. He's tried it a few times. He's got the ability to do it. I think he's a different level. I think he's only young, but I think he's a step above what we've got, Mavididi and anyone else, Nakatiri even as well. I think he could potentially be a real diamond if we can sign him. I think he's only 19, but he's showed glimpses of, you know, real quality, I think.
Yeah.
So I hope we get him on a full, you know, on a proper transfer.
Yeah, fantastic. Jonno, just before I let you go, what's your score prediction for Wednesday?
I went 3-0 on the chat earlier. I think I really hope that we continue what we started in that second half. And I'm hoping Daka gets the nod to start. It was good to see Canon. I agree with you. I don't think he really had an impact, but it's early days for him. But I'm going for a convincing 3-0.
And Jonno, thanks a lot for clicking on, because I put it out there, and of course it's you've got to be brave to come on and do this live in front of people. But don't you just love it when you come on live? I'll put you on full screen and look what Nick Ball says to you. Jonno, tidy your bookshelf. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
giving
my
you
wife
some
tells me all the time.
Yeah, come on,
Jonno.
Jonno.
It is my wife's stuff, to be honest.
I'll blame the wife. Yeah. It's all her fault. We can tell her she's been picked up on it. Jonno, listen, thanks for clicking in. We'll see you very, very shortly.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Cheers, Jonno. Get your views and get your comments in. Don't forget, you can click on that link. I can see Reedy's clicked on it, so hopefully he's going to come on it very, very shortly. Terry says here, do you think Enzo reviews teams in the first half and changes things for the second half? We clearly play better second half in games. I think, Terry, part of the plan, I think, is to use some of the squad to tire the other team out, to allow some of the other squad to come and destroy other teams. So I think it is part of the plan. Will says here, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Thanks, Will, for being optimistic. It was a home game against Plymouth. If it was a cup match last season, we would naturally expect a big win against them at this level. I understand what Will's saying there, and it was convincing in the scoreline, but for quite a lot of it, it was a very close game. I think if I was a Plymouth fan, I'd be slightly gutted that we lost 4-0 in there. Finn says here, we love to switch to play and move the opposition's defence. Makes it easier for the wingers to go 1v1. I agree. I think that's what it is. Canon may be fit, but is he match fit, says Andy. I'm going to ask that to Reedy when he comes on. Let's get Reedy on. Here he comes. Reedy, you all right?
I'm good.
Good, Reedy. Let's start with that one. Andy says here, Canon may be fit, but is he match fit? What did you think to Canon on Saturday?
He did okay. I was always asking for him to come on the last couple of games, and yeah, he was in okay positions. I just don't know if he's ready yet. Obviously, he needs to be ready for when the AFCON comes in the next few weeks or months coming up. So I get where people want to say he starts, and I probably would say probably fits better tomorrow on Wednesday because of how physical the game will be. So maybe he would be better in that side. But like you say, with someone like Daka, I think he deserves another start. So it all depends on who starts. And if Vardy and Iheanacho aren't going to be ready, then it's going to be one of them two. And I won't mind whoever it is.
Yeah, absolutely, Reedy. I know you've been a big backer and supporter of Daka, so, you know, he scored 1 goal, so you can have your moment.
Of course, you see the flag behind me. It's the Zambia flag.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I see your green screen's not working very well either.
No. But it's Zambia, mate. My goat.
Reedy, honestly, people watching this, Reedy keeps coming out with things like Daka is the GOAT. Do you know what GOAT stands for, Reedy?
Yes, I do. It is the greatest of all time. It's
you
fine.
Can't say Daka is the greatest of all time, please.
I'm only joking, but you know, and I've been the same with Vestergaard. They've both been players that I do rate, and I just don't know why. Like I say, last season it was Vestergaard getting all the stick for not being good enough. Daka as well, but for me, Daka's okay, and I think that if he does get a consistent amount of games and hopefully he gets more game time, I think he will score. And it's not just because it's the championship. I think he did okay last season. People are just slating people for not having the best of games. I even said to you on Saturday before the game when I saw him in the lineup, if he has a bad game, the amount of stick he's going to get for not having a good game after one game is going to be hilarious. I just hope that Daka can play again on Wednesday or whenever he plays and scores again, and it does show that he's a better striker than people think he is.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I said to you, really, on the way there, if he's in that team, I want to see him score. You know, I want to see him play, give him a chance. Let's give him a chance at this level. Keith says, because I've just said it was a close game with just the 4 lucky goals. Keith, I'm being honest. I just felt like I think we definitely edged it. We were definitely the better side, and I definitely think we should have won, really. But I think it was a lot closer than a 4-0 scoreline says.
It definitely was. Like I say, we could have been 1 or 2-1 down at half time. Obviously, they were on top. And like I say, the moment we came to that second half, it did change. And I think we were the better team because we changed the style up a bit. I wouldn't say changed the style, but changed how we played, and it worked perfectly. And like I say, 4 goals might sound like you absolutely battered them. But if you look at the stats, they were very, very equal. Like I said, they had probably just as many shots on target as us.
I see Locke says such a close game 4-0. Locke, I'm only being honest, at the game, it never quite felt like a 4-0 game. Once we got those 3 goals in 6 minutes, the game was over.
Yeah.
They knew it, we knew it. They started taking all their good players off. We started taking our players off. It was as if it was an unwritten right. The game is done now after.
But even at 2-1, it still felt a bit. 2-0. Sorry, it still felt like it wasn't like our game.
At 2-0, it was 3-0, 4-0 before you had time to breathe.
1-0 up, we still thought we could probably lose this.
Yeah,
or even draw this. But again, Locke said 9-0 was a close game too. Again, 4-0.
Scott says, I agree with what Scott says. It was close until we battered them.
Yeah, 4-0 shows again. When Locke asked the question after the game, did we dominate? I don't think we did. I honestly don't think we did. Until we scored 4, like I say, until the 3 goals came in the first 8 minutes, then it was game over. But
yeah, Jonno says here we upped the tempo for 10 minutes, which we did and blew them away. Just wants to see more of that 10 minutes level. I agree with that. Locks comes back and says Southampton 0, Leicester 9 was a close game too. No, it really wasn't, Locks. Again, very different game. We are allowed to say if it was close. Again, Locks and anybody watching who doesn't think it was close, both teams created 13 attempts, so it was a little bit closer than a 4-0 scoreline might say. But we had a fantastic 10 minutes and some other bits. Larry says here, come on, chaps, Plymouth was bad as Stoke in there. Locke says it was a close 45 minutes, agreed. And then over the 90 minutes, we battered them and dominated. Okay, Lox's views on there. Jonno says Lox is on the sauce. He's not. He's just. I get it. 4-0 is a great scoreline. That was great to do that in there. I just thought. Gary says here 4-0 was great, but we were still playing too much from the back. We got to cut this out. Although Gary, I thought we were a little bit more direct, really, at times, and using some of that Daka pace at times.
The style is always going to be from the back. We were never going to change how we play from the back. I think the issue is when we go under pressure and the keeper has the ball, don't pass it to Winks with 3 men around him for him to probably mess up the pass. That's the thing that we need to see more of. And in the second half, I think even in the first half, Daka was making them runs through the middle 3 or 4 times and we just never used him. So in the second half, I was glad to see the moment that Hermanson kicked that ball up straight to the middle. It worked perfectly, and obviously Fatty, we got onto it. So I think, like I say, after the game on Saturday. I think a lot more fans who were asking for a bit more of a threat and a bit more direct football showed that we can do it without even conceding. Yes, it might have been Plymouth, but I think half the teams this year are to the level of Plymouth. So I think we could easily beat them comfortably if we keep doing it the way we were in the second half. I'm not saying we do it every single second of the game because we will probably concede from it, but I think we've done well.
It should be more of the same, Reedy, against Millwall. I think you and Sam will do a preview show before Wednesday night, so I'm only touching on it briefly in tonight's show. Score predictions, though, Reedy, against Millwall, who are not in great form at all. I think they've only won once in the last 4-5 games and had 3 defeats in there. They're currently in 19th. It should be a comfortable home win again, shouldn't it?
Should be, but my score prediction yesterday was 1-0. I do think it's going to be a closer game. I think it's going to be more physical. I don't think we're going to get as much space or freedom up front. So I do think we'll win it, but only just. And I think it'll be a very scrappy game because we all know what Millwall's like. So I think we're only going to win it edgy by 1, in my opinion.
Do you agree with Reedy? Get your views and your comments in. Let's get some score predictions in there. Gary goes 2-1 to the Foxes. Wayne says 3-0 to Leicester. Locke says back on track for the points record, Phil. Yeah, fine, Locke. You keep going with that. Richie says 4-0 in there. Bubba says 2-0 to the Foxes. Nick says 4-0 is a good result. We can always pick holes in any performance. Win 1-0 and dominate, get the same 3 points. Fickle lot, aren't we? Yeah, to an extent, Nick. But again, we're going to have the debate. We're allowed to have the debate about it. Ziv says 5-0 to Leicester. Put some dollars on it in there. Nick goes 2-0 to Leicester. Matt goes 3-1. Richard says 5-0. Keith says hopefully we'll scrape 10 to their 0. Be nice, Keith. Be nice. Craig says 3-0. Leicester. Terry's 2-1. Stephen Ward, says 5-1. Alan is 3-0. Locke says, I think we'll slap them just like Plymouth 4-0. Leicester versus Millwall. Tomahawk says 3-1. Gav 3-1. Andy says 3-2. Philip Howard says 2-1 to City. Leicester wins 3-1, says Tomahawk. And Michael E says 2-1 to Leicester. Dawn gets pretty much the final prediction in there. She says, win for us, but I'm always wrong with my predictions. Dawn, you and me both. I never get the score predictions right in there. Larry wants to talk about hope people stay till the end on Wednesday. Absolute disgrace. So many people leaving that early against Plymouth. Larry, all I'll say to that is you never know what things people have got on. It might be they've got to take their kids somewhere. It might be that they've had to sacrifice something else to get to the match. And actually leaving a few minutes before the end.
And especially on Wednesday.
Get them to somewhere else. Yeah, Wednesday night, I'm not being funny, Larry. All the people with kids, Wednesday night, it's a late one. So that family stand will empty out on Wednesday night, whatever the score, because people have to get their kids home for school. So I get it. Larry, I think it's always nice to see a lot of people stay behind, and the majority do. But sometimes there was a lot of hoo-ha about how many fans left. And I know people said that, but I think I tend to go, Locks, is that like people sometimes have something else they have to get to. And sometimes they might have another half who's saying, you get back from that football quick because we've got a family party to get to. We've got to get the kids to a swimming lesson. Who knows what it is. So as other fans,
we just don't want to get stuck in traffic.
Yeah, just give people the other chance. Richard says plastic fans. They're not plastic fans because they've worked hard, mate, to buy a ticket and get down there. So I, for one, I hope people do stay till the end to clap teams, but I do understand why sometimes people have to go. And on Wednesday, it will happen. Anyway, Reedy, thanks for joining the show. I'll let you go.
No worries. Cheers for letting me on.
You're going to do a match tactics show with Sam.
Yes, me and Sam are going to be doing a tactic talk tomorrow, most likely, for the Millwall game, telling you what team predictions we think it will be for Wednesday's game. And obviously, we'll get your comments and views in as well.
Yep, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that. And I'll let Reedy go now. Thanks, Reedy. See you soon. Locke says here, very easy for Pipes to pipe up when he has a nice warm media box to go into at full time. Well, Locks, guess what, Locks? We happen to agree. I did see Pipes had made some comments in there, and again, not every people have to make sacrifices, and it's a sacrifice to get to the football with you. Don't forget, Locke says jump on Locks' show with him on Thursday after the match. That is Thursday at 7 o'clock. That's the Fox's Focus with Locks. Listen, everybody, thanks so much for Nick and Jonno and Reedy for clicking on that link, being brave enough for coming on. I appreciate it. But thanks for everybody who's put a comment in. Join us next Monday. I'm not going to the Birmingham match away. I'm going to be watching it on telly. I'm a Plastic fan. I'll be in the armchair with a beer in the warmth. So we will do a Fanzone show next Monday. It'll be a pre-match show, 7:30 till 30 seconds to wait. So come join me there. We'll have a chat then. And hopefully we will be warming up for a nice game. All those going to Birmingham, lucky enough to get a ticket, enjoy the match. But I'll see you down at the Millwall game on Wednesday. Thanks for everybody for commenting and watching tonight's show. See you later. Come on.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Barlow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit leicesterfantv.com for all the latest news, views and videos.